muted. Hey guys, again, this Teaching Tuesday Virtual REI Academy. We're just trying to give back with some content, keep people from making mistakes, do's and don'ts, tips and tricks. And you know, every Tuesday is good for us. We're trying to do different topics with different people and some interesting topics. So keep a lookout for all of that. Tonight we chose, and we don't have a big PowerPoint or anything. We're going to try to be respectful of time and keep it 15 minutes. We never do, but at least we'll keep it in that sphere of the atmosphere. But a little bit about networking and making the most of your time at a live event. Live events are really coming back. We're starting to see them. We're already booked in all of September, just about. October, there's some stuff. November, there's some stuff. So they are making a comeback, and you want to make the most of your networking at these live events. You just don't want to go and get content. You want to meet people that might be partners, money lenders, and different stuff. So just a couple quick tips on those when you get to the live event, and some things we've learned, and being introverts, we're both kind of introverts. We'd rather sit in the corner and not talk to people. And it's funny, we find a lot of real estate people actually are introverted, and it's really like it almost, you have to have some downtime after that live event because you spent all that time and energy to go to the event and network and talk to people. So then you need some downtime. But we found a couple things that have helped us here lately. Is just number one is set clear goals when you go. So before the event, just think about, what do you want to accomplish? Do you want to get partners? Do you want to get money lenders? Do you just want to make relationships? Are you looking for help in marketing? And that way you can direct your energy towards those people, or you just want to get out of your comfort zone, or there's somebody that's interesting there that knows a lot about multifamily. Like, say if Nicole was at an event, maybe you'd want to go talk to Nicole and find out a little bit about multifamily, or somebody that has some knowledge that you don't have. So that's number one. Get your goals ready. And then a little bit, maybe research some of the people that are going, and some of the speakers, because you want to see what you're actually going to be learning about, and know a little bit about them so you can have a conversation with them. You don't want to kind of be stuck with walking up to somebody and saying, hey, what do you do? And they're the keynote speaker. Um, you just don't want to be in that position where you're like, oh, and then you don't know what to say because you don't know what they're talking about. Or that could have been your one chance to ask a really cool question and them notice you, as opposed to them like, this person doesn't even know that I'm the keynote speaker here. That's kind of silly. Utilize social media when you're there and when you're going there, so that way people can find you. If I know I'm going to an event, then I might post ahead of time, excited to go to Dallas for this event that's coming up. And that way people know that you're going, maybe they're going, and then maybe you can do that connection ahead of time, as opposed to getting there and scramble and trying to figure out, who you might want to meet. And one thing that we did on our last couple events that we went to was, actually, and it's a group we're very familiar with and we know most of the people, so we tried to set up lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner with folks ahead of time, because you'll find that if you wait, they're already going to be busy because they've already done that. So then if you wanted to talk to somebody because they're a really good marketer, or they have some really good ideas about um, whatever, single family or Airbnb, whatever it is that you wanted to talk about, they're already busy because they've already set their schedule. So if it's a 3-day event, you might think, okay, I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with 3 different people. And it depends on the event too. Like Nicole's talking about a 12-hour event. You're lucky if you get lunch, but at the same time, there is going to be some downtime, even if it's a drink beforehand, or if you're flying in the night before, see who else is, put a post out. I landed in Dallas, or I landed in Maryland. Who's available to meet me for, a snack, or who wants to take a walk around the block. So that's another one. Something that most people won't really take you up on, but you can ask, is just volunteer to help, because sometimes people are setting up smaller groups. They don't have a big setup crew. they might be doing it themselves. So you can just go in and say, hey, you need any help setting up, or need any help, breaking things down, or yeah, it just seems, and even if they don't take you up, 9 times out of 10 they won't. But it was just that offer to help. You want to jump in with anything?
Well,
I'm just rambling on here.
that's a good point. If you get lucky enough to let them allow you to check people in, and that's another way to network and get to know people as you're checking them in, talk to them, see what they're doing there and what kind of investment they're doing. So that's a great point there. And like Jane said, when we first started out, we were kind of like the wallflowers or stood in the back of the room and watched everybody. But as we progressed and got more comfortable, and and if you're going as a partnership, sometimes you want to split up and sit on different sides of the room, network with different people, and then that way you're getting twice as many people that you're reaching out to and contacts than you would if you hang together. And Jane and I are guilty of that. We don't really split up very much. We kind of sit together and sit in the back of the room. So get your courage up and try to get your extrovert on and get out there and meet and talk to people. We had a great opportunity to really network and branch out. One of our groups we belonged to, we were at it was a teaching day all day, and then the next day we played golf. We didn't know how to play golf, so the way they structured it was a win-win for everybody. It was the best ball. It was a foursome, and then you would play off of the best ball. They put us into different foursomes where they structured it so well. People that we didn't know or really talk to very, very much, but that we could work well together, that we've kind of did similar things, or it would make sense for us to connect. So that was a great thing to do. If you are creating the event, or you're part of the event, you can kind of help it along the way to get people to connect more easily.
And we've gotten a little bit better at that part of things, like finding people that we don't know and then just, kind of trying to build that relationship with, or, just see what they have. And once you start talking to people, it's just the wealth of information, or the stories, or just some of the knowledge that they have. Or, sometimes you think you know something based on somebody's appearance or their Facebook page or LinkedIn, and it's a totally different person. It's like a really cool person that, had you not made that step, you wouldn't have known that. So, and then just another thing, be approachable, kind of don't turn your back on people, and try to just, kind of be open, so that they will come up and talk to you. You might not want to always make that first step, but be approachable so that the extroverts in the room will come up and talk to you. Another thing is, we don't always use it, but have an elevator pitch ready. You never know who you're going to meet. You might have an investment that you're trying to get funded, and somebody might come up to you and they're a money lender. So have that elevator pitch already kind of ready, and practice it. Know what it is and know what you're about, so that you can come off with that sounding pretty good. Utilize business cards. And I don't know, like this is kind of going out the way. People don't have business cards. What works for us a lot is an app. Sharon's got an app on her phone. I think it's called Link or something. A lot of people are going to the apps, but a lot of times I just hand somebody my phone and say, put your number in, and then I take a picture of them, because that way you'll remember what they look like. If you go to an event and there's 200 people there, you might not necessarily know what 100 of them look like, but at least you'll know you had that connection. You'll see their picture, and that way you get their cell phone number, and you're being transparent with, hey, just I always give out my personal cell phone number. It's at networking events, it's not that big of a deal. And some people I know will just give out a 800 number, or some number that you'll never get a hold of them. But if it's somebody that I want to have a connection with, I'll give them my cell, and they can use that.
One good thing about Link also, there's like a little area where you can take notes or make comments. So you can write the date you met them, where you met them at, and then so with the picture and the comments, it'll refresh your memory as you continue to go to more events and meet more people. So that's helpful as well.
Right. Just I guess you could host a meetup or a happy hour, or we know people that do that with some of the events we go to. They'll just take the bull by the horns. They'll have a happy hour, some kind of social event where it's a little bit easier to just go up and talk to people. You could have that before, you could have it after. Nothing wrong with when the event is over. A lot of people fly depending on where it is, so maybe they're staying later. Just get a small group together and grab breakfast before everybody goes, and then you're in a more social event. You're not sitting in the classroom. And a lot of classes that you do go to are long, so sometimes you know and we've done this early on. Like you sit in the class and you're getting the content and it's all good, and nobody talks to anybody the whole 2 days, and then it's over Sunday at 4 o'clock, and it's Sunday at 3:30. Everybody's giving out business cards and not really talking. They're just oh, here is the business cards, and they're not really they haven't had a conversation. They just it's like at the end of the event, you're like, oh my God, I didn't meet anybody, so here's some business cards. I met people. I can say I met people. And very guilty of that early on. It just that's an introvert thing that we're just we're like, God, why didn't we talk to people? And you get home and then you're like, God, there was so many people I could have talked to that were interesting, that we just didn't get out of our shell. And then once you get those contacts, follow up with them, because that's the main thing, is follow up. It's with real estate, follow up on deals. With people, follow up. If somebody had a good event, or they had a good speech, or they talked on stage or something, let them, you can inbox them Facebook, or send them a message and say, hey, that was a good speech you gave, or you look great up on stage, or had a great conversation, or thanks for going to lunch with us. Just keep that connection alive, because eventually people will forget, and a year later, you'll say, hey, remember, whatever, that California event. And they're like, who are you? Because you didn't keep in contact. I mean, that's one thing we try to do with people and I see Anita's on here. So she's one of our buddies that we go to events with all the time. And, we talk at least a couple times, probably a day, or, um, probably daily at least. Then now we're doing some going to look at bears and stuff with her, and stuff. And Sherry's on here, so we're always talking on Facebook and stuff. So you just want to follow up with people and keep in contact. You always want to offer value to people too, so it's not always what you're getting. It's if you can help somebody else out, even if they might just have a problem. And if it's something even, small, that you connected somebody, or you offered some advice or something that they can, then there's some kind of value. They'll remember that. People don't always uh remember that you did that, and that's really not what it's about. But if you can help somebody else out, that's the goal at the end of the day. We're all in this little thing called life together. So, and then I guess just be patient, persistent. Just keep talking to people and keep meeting new people, and be respectful of everybody's time. It's like if you're at a network event, then depending on who you're talking to, you don't want to start talking about the things that don't matter, just kind of wasting their time. If you can see they're busy, just kind of keep it to a minimal conversation about what you do, what they do, and be interested in what they do. A lot of times, and we've seen this, people just start tooting their own horn and talking about themselves and stuff. So be interested in what they do, and don't just be talking about all the stuff that you do. So that's kind of, I'm rambling
I
again.
know, you're one idea that we had early on, we went to actually a cruise. And before the cruise, a bunch of people got to know each other and got on WhatsApp and just started networking and talking for 3 or 4 days before the cruise, and then continued afterwards. And then I think that went on for almost a year, where people were connecting on there and helping each other out. If somebody had a house in another area and they wanted somebody to go look at, they knew, you kind of learned where everybody lived, and that sort of thing. So you could reach out to the people on there and ask them to go look at the house, or help them out with, or do deals together, even, network together and get comfortable and build a rapport and a friendship, and you trust them, and then you can start doing deals with them.
And that's kind of important for us with since we do so many things virtually and we're in different states, that we just keep building relationships and contacts in different states. And you'd just be surprised how many people call and say, hey, something came across my desk that you might be interested in, and maybe you can work with them or help them get the deal. So it's just just keep getting those relationships all over the country.
We have even like private money lenders. Um, we have a couple of them that we've, borrowed their money and did really well, and they're happy that we give them, their monthly payments ahead of time and all. And now one of them we paid back, and they're coming to us with deals and saying that they will fund the deal if we take it. So you never know what you have out there. You can you build relationships that you'll work together for years and years and years. And it comes in the most unexpected places, and always network, even if it's not a real estate networking type of venue. Even we network with people going shopping or take the dog to the dog park and talk to people, always going out there and talking to people and tell them what you do. The more people you talk to and the more people you reach and tell what to do, the more opportunities you open for yourself. That's what we've noticed.
Yeah, and even it's funny, like we go to the dog park, and so a lot of people say I work from home, and then that's an easy in to say, well, what do you do? The last person we met at the dog park turned out that he was a videographer and a producer. He used to work in Hollywood. His wife was an actress. So just like all this really cool stuff. And, obviously we have the studio here, so maybe there's something that we can do with him, or at minimum, like it was really cool to hear about his wife. And I forget the TV show she worked on, but it was something that we knew. So then we looked her up, and obviously it was she was an actress, and kind of then went on to be a psychiatrist or something and retired to Sarasota. But just like a really cool story that had we not said, what do you do? We never would have heard. Never would have heard that story. Never would have met the cool person. And all this is just at a dog park while we're just walking, watching our dogs run around and play. So
Yeah, sometimes you just got to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, and things come to you. It's, you get nervous at first, going and getting a haircut, talk to the hairdresser, going to a restaurant, and when you're tipping somebody, talk to the waitress and all, and give them your business card, and see, they might be able to be a bird dog for you, look for houses. So you can have opportunities anywhere in your life. You probably go to the same restaurants over again, go talk to the same people, bank the same places, and just put yourself out there and let them know what you do. And at the beginning, we fell short, and the more years we have under our belt and experience, the more we put ourselves out there, and it really, really makes a difference.
so that's kind of what we have to say about that. Anybody have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
One of the
You like
things
the
that I love
comments?
about you guys is that you're just so genuine, and you always kind of have the old adage about if you help enough other people, you'll get help at some point, right? It always, whatever you give comes back, kind of thing. And somebody, I think it was Sharon, was talking about relationships or something, wasn't you? There was some video that you did that had relationships like every other word it was, or something like that. But at least for me, I'm very much an introvert also. I would rather be sitting down, reading a book or watching a YouTube channel or something like that than going out and meeting people. But what I found was something that helped me was to be genuinely curious about other people, because then there's no pressure on you, right? You're basically, wow, I wonder what they do, or wow, that's interesting, something they're wearing, or the dog they're walking with, or whatever it is. And I think that when you are genuinely curious about people and you approach it that way, there's no pressure, and people feel more comfortable with you, and they may end up leading the conversation themselves. So it's usually very helpful. So anyway, just a comment, no question.
I like that. I
Cool.
like that
Yeah, I
comment.
like that. That's good.
Perfect. That's what we like when we speak in front of a crowd or in front of a group of people, or teach people. We kind of have to turn it around and put the spotlight on them. Like, we're giving them information that they want to hear. So we have to stand up here and present the information so that they can use it and succeed. So we kind of do the same thing. We spin it, and it does make it easier, especially for introverts.
And I remember like our biggest in 2019 we went to an event in California, and he's now our business coach. But so we went to the event and there was probably 700 people there, and we walked away with maybe 3 postcards. I mean, or cards, business cards. We were just so overwhelmed with, like, we walked into that and we're like, we didn't know anybody. Like, it was a whole different group. We didn't know anybody. We were just like totally overwhelmed. And then I just remember that feeling. And then after that COVID hit, and it was like, God, like we had all these people that we could have met, and interesting people and real estate people that could, that we could have added information to them. They could have added information. And that kind of really hit home. And then COVID hit, and it was like that kept, kind of gnawing at me, that all those people in that room and we didn't meet anybody. And then, Zoom kind of made things a little bit easier for us, I think, because I feel like, we knew people because we saw them all the time. So then that first initial meeting, that was like, I felt like I already knew them. So maybe COVID helped us a little bit get out of our shell with that. But still, to walk with 500 people in a room, or 700, whatever it was, and to walk away with 3 business cards and 3 conversations was
That's
definitely that
terrific.
kind of, that turned things around for us a little bit.
So we're not like ones that went out there from the beginning and had instant success. We had to work hard to get to where we are. So it's, it doesn't, not everything comes easy, and you got to work for it, but it does work. And, we knew nothing about real estate, and now we've built a portfolio, and we have some different tools in our tool belts to use for acquiring houses and getting different creative and strategic and, strategies. So, I feel like if we can do it, then any one of you can do it, and, learn from our mistakes too.
Another BFF popped on, Jenny. Now she popped off.
Jumped off.
She left. She left as soon as I said her name. But, does anybody else have any questions?
Or any comments or any
comments, or what you do at an event, how you network and things you like to do?
that's worked for you.
And there's not many people, so just answer up.
I can hi, this is Anita. And
Anita?
I just have a comment. And as Jane was talking about, when you go to an event, Jane is there right away, because I've been the recipient of this. I was asking a question of a very high level person who is holding the conference. And so Jane took out her phone immediately and just videotaped that and sent it to me. So now I have this thing where I'm asking somebody, a high level person, a question, and they're answering me back. And it's like I'm having a discussion with that person. So it's something I can use. So if, like she said, if somebody's up on stage or something, if you can video that, if somebody gets called up, it's really something they actually can use later. So that's what's very much appreciated.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah, always make sure you try to get those good pictures and with people and networking and use them. Don't be shy about it. Put them on Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform that you're on, LinkedIn.
That is a good point, because people think, oh, I'm not going to use this, or this isn't going to work. But I mean, it absolutely does work. If somebody sees you with a high network person, and they'll say, okay, if that high network person is doing business and working with you, then I'm going to do business and work with you. It's, branding. And I know people don't like doing that or using that, but it absolutely does work.
And that'll be a whole nother topic for another Tuesday, is branding and celebrity branding and some other stuff, and doggies that want to be in.
But all this goes hand in hand. It really does. And bless you, Sherry. I think you were sneezing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no worries.
Hope you're okay.
Any other comments or? Light crowd tonight.
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Sherry.
it. Thanks for being here.
I was going to offer, I sent you a text. I don't think you've seen it yet, but not to put you on the spot, but one of the things obviously that we're trying to do with both is really create a community. And at least with a meetup, when we had it in person, a lot of people kind of networked and ended up partnering together and help each other out. And, you know, I know this person, connecting and stuff like that. So do you think it's okay if they have an interest, they can either put their email in the chat, or they can email you guys directly with their contact information, or put a list together every Tuesday and then send it out to the people that attended? So they
Sure,
can kind of
absolutely.
connect each other
That,
offline?
that would be, that's a great idea. It's
Okay.
perfect.
So would you rather they emailed you directly, or you wanted them to put it in the chat? What's best?
They can email us and then we'll get back to them if they like, or put it in the chat and I'll try to take a picture of it, or
Whatever they'd rather do, whatever you guys want to do, if you like that idea.
And actually, if you guys want to put it in there, you don't have to take a picture of it. There's in the 3 little buttons down at the bottom, there's a little save chat. If you click on it, anybody that goes in there, I can actually save it and then I'll send it to you guys
okay,
at the
gotcha.
bottom of the participants.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody that had any questions on here?
Any other questions, or and we really are you know, we're actually in the studio today. We're seeing how this would work if we were to have a live event here, because we're really thinking about having a live event January and February, where most of you guys are from Maryland and it's cold and snowy, and down here it'll be warm and nice. And you know, so we're coming in the studio a little bit more to try things out and see how it works. We have a whiteboard behind us and nice big screen, and probably fit 30 people in here, maybe a few more, but
And add a really cool experience to it. Have some time in the studio and then a day where we'll go out in the field and do something cool.
so if everybody wants to think about that and see how they feel about it, I really think live events are coming back. So I wanted to do this tonight is kind of get everybody prepared. I know September we've got 2 or 3 events. October we got 1 or 2. November we have a couple. So you know, James and Nicole may have one in November up in Maryland. So hopefully that fits with our schedule, that we can come up there. Hopefully it won't be cold. We're not used to that.
And like we were,
Maybe you guys can come down here.
yes, beautiful down here in the winter time. And you know, unfortunately the summer, like we were saying before, is kind of slow with these sort of things. So you're gonna have less attendance with the events and networking during the summer months. People are going on vacation, kids are off school, you know, downtime. So
I think that's why September is going to be super busy with events. And I am going to try to bring the whiteboard over.
oh, Charlene said, what type of event? There are so many different things to do in Tampa. I mean, we could go on like a little dinner cruise, sunset cruise. We could go to a really cool museums. There's museums in the area. We could try to do like a behind the scenes tour to make it continue with the business learning. And she said, oh my, oh, flip it over this way. So I think the lights are too bright behind it.
Technology.
The lighting. What are you going to do? The username and password on there?
Yeah, it wouldn't take that. I just wanted to show everybody the website. So different things on it. We have all the courses. Even if you're a non-member, there's resources on here that it's not going to work.
Is that too bright?
Technology. Oh well, then you know. So check out our website, www.virtualreiacademy.com. There's some really cool stuff on there, even if you're not a member. Obviously, there's got a lot of courses, a lot of different real estate courses on there, from anything from being a beginner, running it like a business, options, 30 years of experience from some of the people that have done the courses. We don't have anywhere near that, but we're going to be adding some courses in the next couple months. So check out the website.
And it's content for beginners and experienced investors. It's got things from, you know, flipping your first house all the way up to options type of training, which is a niche that not many investors do. It's a really good niche to have and have in your tool belt. So it's the whole gamut. And then we pivot and always add new content and adding things as more technology like AI, or adding some things with AI.
Any questions, comments? If not, we'll call it an early night and then be ready to go. Next week is would that be Mr. Jackson talking about Puerto Rico on the 8th? I think we're going to have an investor on here who's done very well with investing in Puerto Rico. So he'll be talking about his portfolio and how he grew that. We're actually having some other folks on here, some that are on here this evening. I think are going to pop in. And so just look out. We're going to try to bring a lot of different topics that other people don't cover. Just, so it's different and not the same old wholesaling and rehab and different things. Well, the
Sure.
tax lien lady, Joanne Musa, has agreed to come on here on the 15th, I believe, of August. So she'll be talking about deeds and liens, and she's very good at it. We partnered with her. We worked with her, and she's very knowledgeable about that. So she'll be on. Miss Anita will be on here. Miss Sherry, we're trying to talk into still. So maybe she'll be on here, but we're gonna have a lot of cool guests that have a lot of experience in a lot of different topics. So just look out for them. And if nobody has anything else, we'll call it a night.
Anybody have anything, or
All
want to
right,
thank you
guys.
guys very much for attending and listening and adding value.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Okay. Night night.